We may be attached to what went wrong from before that you cannot change. Especially about the topic of letting go, you have certain stories that you tell about this certain somebody or specific person. And that story that you have in your mind, that was wrong, totally wrong. And that was a betrayal. But then you tell that story inside of your brain, but you keep it and you are somehow attached to that story, although that person may not be in your life anymore. Hi, this is Ilchibuko, and today's topic is about art of letting go. Maybe that you are interested in this topic because at some point in life, or maybe even right now, you feel you are a little bit stuck in somewhere in your life, or you felt like, oh, I have something that I'm holding on to that I want to really let go. But the truth is, this is something you do every day about letting go. Or maybe to put it in the simplest term, what comes in goes out. That's happening all the time. So if you are, for example, eating, right? So you eat something, the things enter into your body, and then you are excreting, right? And this is happening all the time. This is a law of nature. And this is what we teach here at Serunamago about how you can learn from nature, law of nature. So if something is not being let go and you are holding on to something, so that means you are creating imbalance in your body and in the nature itself. So that's why the topic of letting go is very, very important for us. So in terms of physically letting go or releasing, we can see that, we can feel that, right? So if you eat and then didn't go, then you have a constipation, so you feel in pain, and then you have to allow things to move through. But letting go, in this sense, what we are talking about, I believe that you are talking about releasing the emotion or hurt from before. And a lot of times, because we are not taught about letting go of hurt in school, because it's a knowledge-based, right? All of our schools are something you learn and then do well when you learn. Or when you get something or receive something, then that's considered good. So in terms of release and let go, feel like when you're letting go, you feel like maybe you're losing something. Or you may be less if you let go. Or you may, if you let go, you feel insecure, or you don't have enough. So I am going to share why, at the first place, anyway, you may feel letting go is hard. Number one, before I talk about anything, I want to say that we have forgotten that we are already enough. We are being in this whole world and the nature and the whole universe. We live with this abundance or a flow of energy that we are one with that source of energy or energy that is available to us all around. But somehow we have forgotten that we are separated being from this whole picture, or separated from other people, right? So as you are listening to it, you may be wondering too, well, what is she talking about? We are separated from other people. Yes, physically, yeah, but in an energetic term, we are exchanging energy all the time, all of the time. And that in terms of energy flows in and out always. So we learned that even through COVID, right? So it happened in one part of the country and then it spread to everywhere. And then we felt that we had that, right? So we tried to protect that. But as you know, it traveled many, many places, everywhere, all over the world. So in an energetic or invisible term, energy flows everywhere all the time. We cannot separate yourself from the whole. It is the absolute truth about who we are, how we live. So because we forgot that truth inside of us, we begin to live as if we are separated being from everything else. And that's why we even feel loneliness. We even feel a lot of things that if we let go, then we feel less, something like that. So so this whole thing I'm going to talk about, it's based on not enoughness or not enough consciousness, or because we feel we are separated from the whole. This whole thing comes. What I will talk about. So even what we think about, all these ideas we have, right? So I don't have enough, so I have to keep or holding. I need more. I have to get more. Yeah, I have to learn more. Yeah. And also at the same time, through the knowledge, we may be trying to resolve many things. If I know more, if I have more, but that consciousness or getting more, it doesn't resolve anything. Yeah. So even if you may have more, you may receive more, you may still feel really sad or feel not enough. Yeah. So that is one thing. And also you may have something that you think about like this. I have to fix something. I have to fix what wasn't working. Yeah. And, you may begin to ask, well, what is wrong with me? I have to fix it. Yeah. But if we have that mindset and then we think we did something wrong, we begin to contract the energy. Yeah. So that is the opposite of the abundant energy that is flowing, and to utilize that abundant energy. Yeah, so it's the way to make your energy smaller or make yourself even separated from the whole. Yeah, and also we may be attached to what went wrong from before that you cannot change. So, especially about the topic of letting go, you have certain stories that you tell about this certain somebody or specific person. And that story that you have in your mind, that was wrong, totally wrong. And that was a betrayal, right? But then you tell that story inside of your brain, but you keep it and you are somehow attached to that story. Although that person may not be in your life anymore. Maybe that person was involved 20 years ago, 30 years ago. But inside of you feels like it is happening right now in this moment, as if he or she lives inside of your mind, or that person is in your life. Yeah. And if that is something that you cannot change about the past, you will live in that container of your thought and the feelings, and that makes you be also, again, separated from what is happening right now all around you. You will disconnect from that whole picture. Make sense? And if you are the person who is righteous, or you want to make things right, and you may be expecting that person to be apologizing to you, but even that person may not be in your life anymore, right? So that righteousness or want to fix something wrong, that may make you stay in that same place and causing that blockage, or causing you to hold on to more things and more things that you have to, or you want to let go, but you keeping it and feels like cannot control it. So with that mind that you may be holding, you will have a hard time for the rest of the life. Why? Because that person may never come back to say to you, I'm sorry. So it's better you do something else to allow yourself to expand the energy, because you are going to be the one to be with yourself whole life. So would you like to live the life that is freedom, free from all that past story? And I'm sure that is yes from you. So that is important to know why that's happening, because you become aware. And then when you're aware, then you can focus on it and find out what's going on. And then you will know what you need to let go or release. And sometimes we don't even know what to release. You just feel not good. And you feel like you need to do something about it, right? Okay. And another thing is that we deal with things separately about your being. So we have the physical body, we have the emotion, and we have our thoughts. And somehow we feel like we have to treat it separately. So and that's how we live in this society nowadays. And so we have a specialist in everything, right? Foot doctor, intestine doctor, eye doctor, ear doctor, right? And sometimes we get overwhelmed how to fix everything. Or there are so many things to fix. Even as we get older, we have more things to fix, right? And then if we are treating it separately or thinking of it separately, it's going to be hard. Because then you don't know enough. And then you have to ask everybody, well, how can I do this? How can I do this? What we have to do for this and this and this. In a way that can be helpful, and that's why we have Google and we have internet to research what you need to do. But I'm not here for that. I'm here to share with you the law of nature and how things are actually working inside of you. So in order to heal yourself, or in order to figure out what's going on within yourself, we have to realize that everything is working harmoniously already. Your body, your emotion, your thoughts, what you do, your habits, everything is moving together always. It's not separated. So you cannot treat emotion with emotion. And then you cannot just be physically healthy and then expect that well-being of yourself. We can't just learn something and then have more information and expect that your whole body becomes healthier. So we have to first know that everything is connected. But when we try to heal ourselves, we kind of separate it. So that's why even to endure the pain, you may numb yourself, and then just do something and then thinking that that can solve it. Yeah. Or you may try to not feel that body, not feel that emotion in your body, and but working out or something like that. Yeah. But working out your body like that. So you want to connect, begin to connect. Yeah. And so that we do a lot of times we say multitasking, and then we may be thinking about something, but then you may be talking different way or different way of expressing what you are saying from what you're thinking. Yeah. Or you may be doing something but completely thinking about different things. We do that kind of things. Yeah. And so we want to be able to connect all of the what is separated from each other inside of us. Yeah, so I will talk more about that, how to begin to connect. So there's so many reasons I kind of wrote it down, but there are main things. So daily thoughts, what we think about. Yeah. And we are not aware of a lot of times. We just think about things. And these thoughts may not be helping you to release or let it go. We have this stories or memories, and then there are ways that we think about things all the time. So that is fixed in a box. And we keep telling the same thing. And then feeling. So we have this pain, and then there are ways that we continue to be creating something because of that pain. So we may be moving our body because of that pain certain way. Yeah. Because of that pain, we may begin to think about certain somebody. This person is not good, or this kind of person is not good. I didn't do it. So there's a preconception, or we can say fixed ideas that we begin to say to yourself, about yourself and other people. Yeah. So with those fixed ideas that we have, we say things. Right? So, I'm not, or I couldn't, I didn't for 20 years, so how could I now? And I think these people are such and such, right? So with these ideas, we begin to create life, yeah, and continue to what? Create imbalance, because you're holding on to those certain ideas that when you hold on to it, energy cannot move anymore. And you have this energy that you hold inside and cannot do something about it. Yeah. And so you want to look at your thoughts, daily thoughts. You want to look at the emotion you feel, and then what kind of patterns of your body you create, or what kind of things you begin to say. So you want to look at all these things all together, yeah, and that such information that we kept as fixed ideas, yeah. So in order to even look at all these things, we want to know this one thing. As I mentioned, we are all connected, and one, the energy is connected, and then we are one with the source. As well as what we say with all these experiences, yeah, the reason that makes you hard to let go or hold on to something. This is, I can categorize it like this is old self or ego self. So it's not who you are, but you're holding on to it. Yeah. And perhaps that holding on to those feelings and holding on to certain way to think about other people and doing certain way with that ideas is how you survived. Yeah. But now you are here, that means that you feel something is not moving anymore, that you want to access to the bigger energy to let it flow. I hope that makes sense to you so far. Yeah, so in the introduction of this session, I mentioned know the difference between the true love and attachment. Yeah. So all these things that I talked about, something to let go, whether that's thought or ideas or emotion, this triggers from this false self. Yeah. So this attachment comes from that false self or ego self. Yeah. So that's why this attachment love is more of controlling. Yeah. You need to control because you have to get, because you don't have enough. Yeah. And true love, when we are talking about true love, it's more of really allowing another person to be free to express. Yeah, you don't have to really control that person's actions to be certain way and to give it to you, because you are flowing with the energy. Yeah, and so it limits actually me and other person when I do that. Yeah, makes sense. And then of course that attachment love is more of contracting, like becoming smaller self, as opposed to true love is actually it expand that energy wider and bigger. Now of course that true love can be intense, but it's kind of like this. Yeah, some focusing and then energy become intense, but then with that there's a creation and then there's expansion. Yeah, so this is the free flowing of that energy. Yeah, contracting and expanding. Yeah, so that, and then about balance, right? I talked about the attachments create imbalance. So if we even money as an energy source too, if we kept just money getting, yeah, and then didn't let it flow out, that creates imbalance. So maybe you can look at the world right now, the situation of the money, the truth about it. Yeah. So when we hold on to it and then have more, yeah, and that creates the in the picture of whole thing for the world, we may be creating this imbalance. So inside of us too, if we want more and holding on to something and then didn't get share, right? Then that also creates imbalance. But the true love is free flowing, yeah. And then that creates the bigger energy and expand more and more with that love, because you are letting it flow out of you and then receiving it. And then the attachment love may focus on not enoughness and then have to get more, as opposed to true love is focused on what is there, what I have. And then so then with that focus, then you can give. Yeah. But if we focus on what you don't have, then you have to make up for that to get something from other people. And then you be dependent of circumstances and situation and other people to give to you. Yeah. But if you have mind to open up to let that energy to flow through you, the abundance or the energy of the universe or what's available around you, you can let the energy flow to expand that love. And so that is the love that you want want to express. Yeah. Okay, so when I talked about why it's hard to let go, right? So all these ideas, and also you may be asking this question that you ask may be also limiting. So you want to be aware of limited question that you may ask that may make your energy smaller. Okay, so then how can I heal myself from this emotional story that we keep telling ourselves, right? So very simply, those stories you tell or what you think about is fixed like rock, something hard that you keep doing repeatedly all the time. So what you need to do, even if you see a rock too, what you can do to possibly make it softer. Yeah. So then maybe you may drop the rock, right? And then to make it in different pieces to change the form. So inside of us, what is hard like rock, you want to think about what can I make it, how can I make it flow or soft. Okay. So then there's a term, I can say, energy. Yeah. So you want to move the energy. And so in order to move the energy that is existing inside of you, you can first very easily move your body. Move your body, and then when you move your body, you can move your emotion and you can move your thoughts. But don't just move body or distract yourself from something that you're feeling, but move your body with intention. So I can introduce such things as vibration. Yeah. So even vibrating, with the awareness and shaking and moving with the inner focus, begin to create this energy. Yeah. So even movement is nothing if your focus isn't here when you're moving it. Yeah. When your awareness and the focus and the movement come together, then the energy begin to move. Yeah. And then you become warm, or temperature begin to shift and change. So with that, you are able to begin to be truthful for yourself, because your mind and energy is here. Yeah. With that, you can look at your story and you can be with yourself and you can face it without running away from yourself. Of course, that resistance is coming in a different stage of release or letting go, but that is our lifetime to get to know ourselves and to see what's happening. Okay, so through the vibration, so even shaking, so first chakra area moving and shaking, or the middle chakra area moving and shaking, and even the upper chakra area moving and shaking, like that. With the inner focus will help you to begin to move the energy with the focus centered being right here and now. And with that, you can begin to ask yourself the question of what am I holding on to? Yeah, that I cannot release. Yeah. And then what kind of people are involved? And then you can begin to look at that person and the situation. And then the way to let go is, first you say it's okay. Sometimes we don't forgive ourselves and then we don't forget. Yeah. And then we hold on to that feelings towards that person or other people. Yeah. So just saying it's okay, and then give yourself permission to be okay with where you are right now. Yeah. Too hard on yourself, we make our energy contract or bigger. It's contract. Yeah. So saying it's okay, and then after that, we can go through this meditation to allowing yourself to release and let go of that memories or person. Yeah. Sometimes the people get confused, like, don't I have to just like really forgive to let go? Yeah. And my answer is yes and no. And most likely, first, no. You don't need to forgive that person. That feeling is so intense. Yeah. And the forgiveness comes from getting to know yourself more and loving yourself more. So that can be a little later. It's okay. So first is allowing yourself to say okay, and that creates the energy to open and then flow instead of no, it's not okay. Right? So let that energy flow, and then say okay, now I can allow myself to let go of this person from me. This incident that I keep holding on to, I let it go. Not because you forgive, but because you want to heal. It's no longer serving you. You may have, with the anger and tenaciousness, you may have created this life so far and you survived. But you are here, that means it's no longer working that way. So you want to let that go and let it be free, and then we'll create a space to receive some new energy. Yeah. If you're holding, yeah, then you cannot receive anything. That's just law. Yeah. So you let go, and then you create a space to receive new energy. Yeah. I'm sure you experienced that before. Yeah. So when you let go, and then you met a new person. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. So that's what you can do to begin to let go and let go journey.